Greetings. This is Doc Ock coming at you live and direct today with another installment of Doc Ock at noon and 9, fine as wine in the summertime. Although our summer is starting to wind on down. I hope that doesn't make you have to frown or act like a clown, because we're going to try and still go ahead and just get right on down to the real nitty gritty. So let's do it to it. Today, we need you to do some things for us, as you already know. Number one, give us a like if you're watching on Facebook. Give us a thumbs up if you're watching this on YouTube. And then go ahead and spread the word far and wide so you can put the glide back in somebody else's stride. Go ahead and do that. And I'm sure your friends and your enemies alike will thank you for it. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and continue reading more of the philosophy and opinions of Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Let's see what he has to say today. We got a piece here today we're going to read. Well, first we're going to do our usual. We always do some kind of words of wisdom. Let's see what words of wisdom Mr. Garvey has for us today. And then we'll go ahead and read our piece. Let's see. Okay, here we go here. Europe is bankrupt today, and every nation within her bounds is endeavoring to find new openings, new fields for exploitation. That exploitation that will bring to them the resources, the revenue, and the power necessary for their rehabilitation and well-being. Now, think about that one for a minute. I got some other ones even heavier than that. We're gonna build up to a crescendo here. But today, today what we have here, this is looks like it's, I don't know why this is singled out as a section here, but it says here this is part 1 of the philosophy and opinions of Marcus Garvey. It says here this is part 1. Looking for the table of contents here. Here we go here. Let's see what does it say here. So, oh, I see. The first part was epigrams. And then, it just has it broke down into 3 other parts. But it doesn't have this other part listed in there. This is odd. Maybe that was just the part for the epigrams. So I don't understand why this other part here is singled out. But it is. Oh, here we go here. Here we go here. And we've got part 1, part 2, and looks like part 3. Okay. So this first part is called, it starts off with an appeal to the soul of white America in the philosophy and opinions of Marcus Garvey, or Africa for the Africans. Africa for the Africans. Okay, important to keep that in mind too. And let's go ahead, let's get it on with our slideshow as well here today. See what's happening there. An appeal to the soul of white America, from October, written on October 2nd, 1923. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Matthew 5:9. Surely the soul of liberal, philanthropic, liberty-loving white America is not dead. It is true that the glamour of materialism has to a great degree destroyed the innocence and purity of the national conscience. But still, beyond our politics, beyond our soulless industrialism, there is a deep feeling of human sympathy that touches the soul of white America, upon which the unfortunate and sorrowful can always depend for sympathy, help, and action. It is to that feeling that I appeal for 400 million Negroes of the world and 15 millions of America in particular. There is no real white man in America who does not desire a solution of the Negro problem. Each thoughtful citizen has probably his own idea of how the vexed question of races should be settled. To some, the Negro could be gotten rid of by wholesale butchery, by lynching, by economic starvation, by a return to slavery and legalized oppression, while others would have the problem solved by seeing the race all herded together and kept somewhere among themselves. But a few, those in whom they have an interest, should be allowed to live around as the wards of a mistaken philanthropy. Yet none so generous as to desire to see the Negro elevated to a standard of real progress and prosperity, welded into a homogeneous whole, creating of themselves a mighty nation with proper systems of government, civilization, and culture to mark them admissible to the fraternities of nations and races without any disadvantage. I do not desire to offend the finer feelings and sensibilities of those white friends of the race who really believe that they are kind and considerate to us as a people, but I feel it my duty to make a real appeal to conscience and not to belief. Conscience is solid, convicting, and permanently demonstrative. Belief is only a matter of opinion, changeable by superior reasoning. Once the belief was that it was fit and proper to hold the Negro as a slave, and in this the bishop, the priest, and the layman agreed. Later on, they changed their belief or opinion, but at all times the conscience of certain people dictated to them that it was wrong and inhuman to hold human beings as slaves. It is to such a conscience in white America that I am addressing myself today. Negroes are human beings. The peculiar and strange opinions of writers, ethnologists, philosophers, scientists, and anthropologists notwithstanding, they have feelings, souls, passions, ambitions, desires just as other men. Hence, they must be considered. Has white America really considered the Negro in the light of permanent human progress? The answer is no. Men and women of the white race, do you know what is going to happen if you do not think and act now? One of two things. You're either going to deceive and keep the Negro in your midst until you have perfectly completed your wonderful American civilization with its progress of art, science, industry, and politics, and then jealous of your own success and achievements in those directions, and with the greater jealousy of seeing your race, pure and unmixed, cast them off to die in the whirlpool of economic starvation, thus getting rid of another race that was not intelligent enough to live. Or you simply mean by the largeness of your hearts to assimilate 15 million Negroes into the social fraternity of an American race that will neither be white nor black. Don't be alarmed. We must prevent both consequences. No real race-loving white man wants to destroy the purity of his race, and no real Negro conscious of himself wants to die. Hence, there is room for an understanding and an adjustment, and that is just what we seek. Let white and black stop deceiving themselves. Let the white race stop thinking that all black men are dogs and not to be considered as human beings. Let foolish Negro agitators and so-called reformers encouraged by deceptive or unthinking white associates, stop preaching and advocating the doctrine of social equality, meaning thereby the social intermingling of both races, intermarriages, and general social co-relationship? The two extremes will get us nowhere other than breeding hate and encouraging discord, which will eventually end disastrously to the weaker race. Some Negroes, in the quest of position and honor, have been admitted to the full enjoyment of their constitutional rights. Thus, we have some of our men filling high and responsible government positions. Others, on their own account, have established themselves in the professions, commerce, and industry. This, the casual onlooker, and even the men themselves will say, carries a guarantee and hope of social equality and permanent racial progress. But this is a mistake. There is no progress of the Negro in America that is permanent, so long as we have with us the monster evil prejudice. Prejudice we shall always have between black and white, so long as the latter believes that the former is intruding upon their rights, so long as white laborers believe that black laborers are taking and holding their jobs, so long as white artisans believe that black artisans are performing the work that they should do, so long as white men and women believe that black men and women are filling the positions that they covet, so long as white political leaders and statesmen believe that black politicians and statesmen are seeking the same positions in the nation's government, so long as white men believe that black men want to associate with and marry white women, then we will ever have prejudice. And not only prejudice, but riots, lynchings, burnings, and God to tell what next will follow. It is this danger that drives me mad. It must be prevented. We cannot allow white and black to drift along unthinkingly toward this great gulf and danger that is nationally ahead of us. It is because of this that I speak, and now call upon the soul of great white America to help. It is no use putting off. The work must be done, and it must be started now. Some people have misunderstood me. Some don't want to understand me. But I must explain myself for the good of the world and humanity. Those of the Negro race who preach social equality and who are working for an American race that will in complexion be neither white nor black have tried to misinterpret me to the white public and create prejudice against my work. The white public not stopping to analyze and question the motive behind criticisms and attacks aimed against new leaders and their movements, condemned without even giving a chance to the criticized to be heard. Those of my own race who oppose me because I refuse to endorse their program of social arrogance and social equality gloat over the fact that by their misrepresentation and underhand methods, they were able to have me convicted and imprisoned for crime which they calculate will so discredit me as to destroy the movement that I represent, in opposition to their program of a new American race. But we will not now consider the opposition to a program or a movement, but state the facts as they are, and let deep-souled white America pass its own judgment. In another 100 years, white America will have doubled its population. In another 200 years, it will have trebled itself. The keen student must realize that the centuries ahead will bring us an overcrowded country. Opportunities as the population grows larger will become fewer. The competition for bread between the people of their own class will become keener, And so much more so, will there be no room for two competitive races, the one strong and the other weak. To imagine Negroes as district attorneys, judges, senators, congressmen, assemblymen, aldermen, government clerks, and officials, artisans, and laborers at work, while millions of white men starve, is to have before you the bloody picture of a wholesale mob violence that I fear and against which I am working. Well, that is as much as we're going to be able to read today from the philosophy and opinions of Marcus Garvey and his appeal to the soul of white America. But I tell you true, that last sentence there, millions of white men starve, is to have before you the bloody picture of wholesale mob violence that I fear and against which I am working. That part right there does seem to ring true today. I mean, January 6th, need I say more? Seems to be just what we had, some wholesale mob violence over the very things that he was talking about there. So then why is it that Marcus Garvey has gone down in the annals of American history as a criminal and not a hero? That is the question. I'll leave you with that question to ponder as we wander through the world, taking care of our business today. We will be back tonight at 9 with more stories, more Black history. Be with us here, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. In the meanwhile, go ahead and give us a like if you're watching on Facebook. Give us a thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. And then go ahead and subscribe to the Tubular Black Facts channel below. You see the button? Hit it, quit it, don't forget it. We will be black tonight. Look for us then, because we'll be right here. We won't be in the wind. We'll be here with a grin from our ear to our chin. And in the meantime, let me just give a wave and a shout out to Tony and Berhani Selassie. See y'all out there, and recognize some of our fervent viewers. We appreciate y'all's support. Keep on supporting us. We're going to keep doing our thing right here at the Tubular Black Facts channel. Peace out without a doubt. And justice, of course.